I've been good, man. Taking care of the family.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might come back. We'll see.
You been offered anything?
Let me see. Off anything like what?
Like a fight?
I mean, I get offered stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Fights, shoes, I don't know. We'll see.
Charlo, and then I'll have Errol Spence.
So Errol Spence at 154, maybe 12 months from now.
Yeah, if he wants to come to the big boy division, then yeah.
It's time for him to let boxing go. That's my opinion. I don't want to see him get in the ring and at a higher weight, and it's been so long, and the ring rust and the accident, the injuries. I think he should stay on his ranch, enjoy what he has gotten.
Errol Spence Jr. speaks out ahead of his return fight against Tsyzu, showing sharp focus, intense training, and determination for a powerful comeback in 2026.
Say, man, we working, man. We working. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't wake me up from a run.
Nah, bro. Nah. Hey, going on vacation, not bringing your running.
Errol Spence Jr. plans to return in 2026, defying retirement talk with a comeback fight.
And so it was for me to help him realize that. That was pretty crazy. For him to come back in the gym and me to be holding mitts and be looking at him, you know, you can't believe it. I think it's like the biggest comeback in professional sports. If you don't believe in yourself, why should I? And he believes in himself 1,000%.
Errol Spence Jr. revealed that after his tough loss to Terrence Crawford, many tried to discourage him from ever returning to the ring, but he refused to let doubt define his career.
A lot of people on social media say, if I come back, I'll be a shell of myself. You know, if he comes back, you know, he's gonna, but he probably not gonna come back. He's damaged. I just, you know, use it all as fuel. Some people can use it all and be not motivated and be like, and let that knock them down. I use it as fuel. I use it as motivation.
Tsyzu admits this fight has woken him up. Unlike any of his past bouts, he says he'll be a different animal when he faces Errol Spence Jr.
What do you see there in Spence that makes you feel that, hey, you know what, I think I can take this guy?
It's a fight that wakes me up, you know? Wakes me up. You know those fights that you'd be like, a challenge, like the Tony Harrison fight for me was like all right, I've got to wake up. This is the fight, and it brings something different in your brain, in your body. You learn more about yourself. You just become a different person, a different animal. And that's another fight that will bring a different animal into me.
Paulie Moline Aji believes Tsyzu also needs his own kind of comeback, calling this matchup a sellable, marketable fight that resonates with both fighters' narratives.
You know, Errol hasn't been busy. He's sort of needs a comeback fight himself. Tim needs a little bit of a comeback himself. He just had a small win over Velasquez. He's going to keep trying to work his way back in. So you look at the fight on paper and you think, this is a sellable, marketable fight, and you know, between two guys who need to work their way back in, and you know, the winner is two big names, so the winner obviously creates a real drawing power to himself again, and works their way probably into a title fight.
Andre Rozier believes Errol Spence shouldn't return, citing his injuries, accidents, and career toll. Risk outweighs reward, despite Spence's recovery.
Every time he posts on like social media, he looks like he's in like terrific shape. Looks like he took those last 2.5 years to really just get it, like his body right, maybe his mind right, whatever. Do you think we could see another run from Spence at 54?
Honestly, this is only my opinion, nephew. You know how I am. I don't want to see Spence back in the ring. I think he went through so much with everything, the accidents and everything. It's time for him to let boxing go. That's my opinion. I don't want to see him get in the ring and at a higher weight, and it's been so long, and the ring rust and the accident, the injuries. I think he should stay on his ranch, enjoy what he has gotten, be a cowboy cattleman, and call it a day.
"I don't want to see Spence back in the ring," Rozier said, stressing that the former champion should enjoy life away from boxing, perhaps on his ranch, rather than chasing another run at 154 pounds. He worries about ring rust, the dangers of fighting at a higher weight, and the possibility of further harm. Still, Rozier acknowledges the difficulty of walking away. For a fighter of Spence's stature, the desire to get back and prove there's something left in the tank is powerful. Yet Rozier's plea is clear: if Spence fights again, let it be one farewell bout, not a full relaunch of his career.
But how, I mean, I assume it's gotta be difficult for a guy of his stature and, you know, going out the way he did. I'm pretty sure he wants to get that get back and kind of show at least, you know, I do have a little bit left in the tank.
Well, it could be, but I'm just saying from the perspective of an individual, an athlete that has gone through so many trials and tribulations, I think at this point in time, it's not going to help him. If he wants to get a win and then call it a day, I could co-sign to that. But for him to think he's going to relaunch his career, especially at 54, I think that's not a good idea.
Kell Brook shared his honest view on the upcoming clash between Errol Spence Jr. and Tsyzu, describing it as an exciting and unpredictable matchup. Brook highlighted that both fighters bring contrasting strengths, which makes the contest highly competitive. He believes Spence still has the skill, ring intelligence, and experience to perform at a high level despite his long break from the sport. At the same time, Zhu's relentless pressure and hunger could create serious problems. According to Brook, their styles should blend well, producing action-packed rounds that keep audiences engaged. For him, it's truly a fight worth watching.
Just last one before I let you go, a man that you have obviously fought, there was reports last night that apparently he'll be returning this summer, Errol Spence Jr. versus Tsyzu. I mean, what do you make of that return? Obviously 3 years at the ring for himself. Just what do you make of his return?
You know, I'm excited as well. You know, I wish that I would have fought, you know, him back in the day, you know, but, you know, it's exciting. I met Tsyzu when I was in Australia, and it'll be interesting to see them two meet and lock on. So, you know, I'll be watching that, and I'll be excited to see, you know, the winners. You know, you never know. You know, I could fight the winner.
Paulie Malin Adji shared a balanced and cautious take on a potential fight between Tsyzu and Errol Spence Jr. He explained that Tim is a PBC fighter in the United States, and that many of these matchups happen within the same promotional circle, so the fight makes business sense at this stage of their careers. However, Paulie admitted there are still many unknowns. Spence has been inactive for a long time, and it almost feels like he has not fought in years. Because of that, no one truly knows what he has left mentally or physically.
You 2 and 2 makes 4, right? You use your common sense. That Tim is a PBC guy in the States. These guys are PBC guys. You look for the correct possible matchup at this stage in their careers. You know, it starts to make sense, you know? So, you know,
How do you see it?
How do I see it? I don't know. I mean, Spence hasn't fought in decades, feels like, you know, even Charlo. So I don't know. How do you know what's left out of those guys mentally, physically? You don't know, you know? Obviously with Tim, there's a lot of question marks. He just come back with a win, but at least Tim is trying to stay busy and active. With those guys, it's hard to say. You haven't seen them. You don't know how their training's going, if their training is even going, and how they are mentally and physically at this point in their life and their careers.
Tim's team copped a lot of criticism, his old team, should I say, about walking him into people like Fundora on short notice, or Murtazalayev unknown, or taking a rehydration clause on the IBF, and things like that.
Malin Adji also pointed out that Zhu has his own question marks, though he has at least stayed active and recently secured a win. He added that inactivity makes it hard to judge a fighter's condition, training, and mindset. He mentioned past criticism of Tim's former team for risky decisions. Ultimately, Paulie said matching him straight with Spence carries uncertainty because neither man is fully predictable right now.
So, I mean, yeah, speak about him sitting on, but is it not just rewriting the books again?
With Spence, you don't know what's left. You know, he's not looked very good, so it might be one of those cases where you're catching him at the right time. But then again, Spence may feel that about Zhu as well, right? Yeah. You might catch him at the right time. It's one of those things where the matchup makes sense because both guys might be catching one another at the right time. But you're gonna get a winner out of the fight, and the winner can, you know, move on to possibly a title fight. You know, as far as the criticism for Tim and his team, there's going to be a lot of opinions, but the person that has skated the most criticism, that deserves the most criticism, is the ringside doctor that night.
Analysts noted that Errol Spence Jr. appears to be back in the gym, quietly preparing for a serious return. Instead of waiting for official announcements, the footage speaks for itself. A short clip shared by Iran Junkyard Dog Peterson in Philadelphia shows Spence relaxed but focused inside the gym. The two talk casually while the camera rolls. Spence has one glove wrapped and looks lean, sharp, and conditioned. His arms show definition, with a light sheen of sweat suggesting he just finished a workout. The moment feels authentic, reassuring observers that training has begun and consistency is building.
And it looks like he is back training, which I'll get into in a second. You know what? I'll just show you right now. Why wait? I mean, why should we wait? So right off rip, this is a video from Errol, the Junkyard Dog Peterson. He's a fighter out of Philly. Terrible jump. Beautiful jump, right? If some people are like, what do you mean, beautiful John? What is it? Like, so, some of you guys, you don't know what I'm talking about. You got to be on Instagram. That's where I've seen it, right? You got to know. If you know, you know. And he looking in shape. So we'll play the video. It's not much to it. And I can't play the music for copyright reasons. But you see them conversating. And when you look at Errol Spence, pause, you can see he got like a little bit of sheen, like sweat, like he was he did some form of a workout. And the caption read like, "Till next time, my ninja," from Errol. So many people believe that the two sparred. That's just what it is. Now, if you know boxing, or if you don't know, I'll tell you, Ron has sparred with great names.
Errol Spence Jr. has been spotted in Philadelphia, sharpening his skills and preparing for a possible showdown with Tsyzu. The footage shows Spence relaxed, yet focused, moving with the confidence of a fighter rebuilding himself after setbacks. Observers note his lean frame, defined arms, and the sweat that signals hard work already underway.
What I'm telling you is this, Earl. You can listen to me or not. I remember we had a chance to buy up the Metropolis, the Dallas Metropolis, when you was on top of the world. You said, call me. I called you. Nothing happened. But that's besides the point. I know you got a lot of money. I know you got your farm, your, what they call it? Probably got the zoo by now, right? But here's the reality of this thing. If you fight Tsyzu for $2 to $3 million, listen to what I'm saying. This is what Vegas is telling me. If you fight Tsyzu and have to go to Australia, you've destroyed your brand. Literally destroyed your brand. Why did you destroy your brand? Because they need to come to Dallas to fight you so you get all the money. Do you understand? You got to rebuild yourself. You don't go chasing dollars when you can spend the next 3 or 4 years building your brand.
Behind the scenes, discussions swirl about the business side of this fight. Some voices warn that traveling to Australia for a $2 to $3 million purse could damage Spence's brand, arguing that Dallas or Las Vegas would be smarter venues to maximize revenue and rebuild momentum. The advice is clear: fight at home first, then expand strategically. Still, the training clips speak louder than speculation. Spence looks committed, disciplined, and intent on proving he has more to give. Whether in Dallas, Vegas, or abroad, his comeback journey is officially in motion.
The third fight can be Keith Thurman. The third fight can be Fondora. The third fight can be whoever you want it to be. But you will not have any market value going to Australia and getting a guaranteed purse. You need to bet on yourself. Fight somebody who's 27-3, never been knocked out, 14 knockouts, and has been in the ring with a champion. That's what you need to do at 154. But what do I know? I'm crazy, I'm delusional, and yet I'm the one who's right. I end up being right every time.
This is not an easy fight to take, especially for someone coming off nearly 3 years of inactivity. Errol Spence Jr. has not competed since his last bout against Terrence Crawford, where he suffered a devastating and one-sided loss that raised serious questions about his form and condition. Long layoffs often affect timing, sharpness, and confidence inside the ring. Jumping straight back into competition against a tough and hungry opponent like Tsyzu is a bold decision. Instead of easing in with a tune-up, Spence appears ready to face a dangerous challenge immediately. That choice shows both courage and belief in himself.
Errol Spence should stay out of boxing.
My concern is definitely not Tsyzu, in my humble opinion. I know if he comes back to the ring, he's going to wash him. But what it is he going to continue right after that fight? Is he going to proceed facing elite fighters at 154? Fundora, who is a 154-pound champion. Boots Ennis. Virgil Ortiz, does he still have that championship mentality? Mind you guys, he's coming off of a 3-year layoff, especially coming off of a devastating loss with Crawford. And to add salt to the wound, the whole car accident thing, which a lot of people want to use as an excuse for the Crawford fight.
I also agree too.
Sean Porter recently shared his perspective on Errol Spence Jr.'s potential comeback, noting that many fighters reach a stage where they want big fights and big paydays, but they aren't performing at that level. Porter compared Spence's situation to that of Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia, who also battled injuries yet sought high-profile bouts without proving themselves against top opposition. He believes Spence may be looking for the same, a way to secure the money he's used to while testing how he feels on fight night.
We were hearing the rumblings of a Fundora. When I think fighters get to a point where they want this, but they haven't been performing there. And I think that might be the case with Errol Spence Jr. Certainly was the case in my opinion, with Keith Thurman and also with Danny Garcia. I feel, even though they did battle injuries, I felt another big part of that was they wanted big pay against lower opponent. They didn't want to come back and get big pay against a big opponent. It's a part of the game, and I got a feeling that that's what Errol's looking at right now. I think Errol's looking at how can I, get the money that I'm used to getting, and for the sake of words, he's got to get his feet wet again. He's got to see how he feels, and on game night.
Porter pointed out lingering questions, including Spence's lack of a coach and the uncertainty surrounding his readiness. Still, he admitted that financial motivations often drive fighters back into the ring. Despite concerns, Porter said he would bet on Spence making a comeback, emphasizing that the way Spence kept getting up against Terrence Crawford showed resilience. He's not going out like that, Porter concluded.
So, it's a lot of things lingering right now with Errol. I'm not sure if he makes a comeback. This, unfortunately, is the one thing that I do know. Most fighters walk away until they have to come back, and usually it's the finance situation that brings them back. Certainly hope that doesn't end up being the case with Errol. If I had to bet on it right now, I would bet that Errol makes a comeback. I would bet that Errol makes a comeback because what we saw from him in his last match against Terrence Crawford, that was just how that fight went. But at the end of the day, and we can tell by how he kept getting up, that ain't who he is. And he ain't going out like that. So that being said, I guess I said a whole lot. Yeah, Errol comes back. If Errol don't come back, then that, to me, that means he's good with where he's at. And like I always say, if you good, I'm good.
Errol Spence is coming off a terrible and damaging loss to Terrence Bud Crawford, the biggest fight of his career for the Undisputed Championship. For the first time, he was dropped 3 times and forced to taste the canvas repeatedly. It marked the first defeat of his career and shook both his confidence and momentum. On top of that, he no longer has the only trainer he has ever known. Then came the horrific car accident and multiple eye surgeries, adding even more physical strain. There is simply a lot of wear and tear surrounding Errol Spence. Now he has brought in a legend, an icon, a Hall of Famer in Roy Jones Jr. Jones is working closely with him in Dallas, trying to evaluate what remains in the tank. While Jones understands boxing deeply and can serve as a mentor, his unique style is difficult to teach, which makes this partnership uncertain but intriguing.
He's coming off of a terrible loss, bad loss, physical damage to Terrence Bud Crawford, the biggest fight of his career for Undisputed. So he got dropped 3 times in a fight for the first time in his career. Being on the canvas, he got dropped 3 times. Then the first loss of his career. Then he don't have the only trainer he knew in his entire career. On top of that, he suffered that horrific car accident. He had the multiple eye surgeries, right? Just a lot of physical damage and unknown with Errol Spence. And now Errol Spence has brought in a legend, an icon, Hall of Famer in Roy Jones Jr., who can be considered in the eyes of many as the greatest fighter in boxing. As a trainer. And Roy Jones is saying he's in Dallas today. See how Errol Spence responds. See what he has left in the tank. See what his abilities can be, and what has he lost and what has he not lost, right? So there's a lot they're gauging today to see, you know, if it's a good fit that they work together, right? Now, Roy Jones is a fighter who fought in a style and a manner in which just can't be taught. It can't be taught, right? And Roy Jones as a trainer, no slight of disrespect, has not been very successful at the highest level as a trainer, right? We just haven't seen it.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.